Today, the legendary 4X board game was officially announced for PC as Twilight Imperium Digital, with a Steam page live right now. It's licensed from Fantasy Flight and Asmodee, developed by Red Square Games, and the release date is still to be announced. I am Jake, and this is nerdsection.com. Here are the big facts. The Steam page calls it a faithful recreation of 4th edition. It lists 17 asymmetric factions, randomized galaxy maps and objectives, and a full implementation of Twilight Imperium 4 phases, including trade, exploration, and politics. You'll be able to play solo against AI or jump online for multiplayer with matchmaking. It also calls out hot seat and asynchronous play, which means you can run a game at your own pace over days instead of marathoning in one sitting. That alone could be the feature that gets lapsed fans back into the galaxy. The page emphasizes streamlining without dumbing things down. Automated rules enforcement handles the bookkeeping, so you can focus on the diplomacy, the deals, and the backstabbing. It promises interactive tutorials, tooltips, and animated 3D tactical battles, which should make learning easier and combat more cinematic than pushing plastic across a mat. If onboarding new players has ever been your bottleneck, this is the kind of assist we've been asking for. Mini teaser. In a minute, I'll explain why asynchronous play might be the secret weapon that finally makes weeknight Twilight Imperium viable. Let's talk pain points. Physical Twilight Imperium is a blast, but setup and cleanup chew time, rules, disputes halt momentum. And the diplomacy that makes it special is also what stretches every round. A well-designed digital edition can trim all of that. No tile sorting, no counting influence the slow way, no digging through errata. When the software is the rules, you spend your minutes on choices instead of math. Asynchronous turns mean your group can keep a game alive between real life, lunch break on Tuesday, a couple turns after the kids go to bed on Thursday, big push on Sunday night. That flexibility opens the door for full 6-player experiences without begging everyone to block an entire weekend. And if online matchmaking takes off, you'll find tables without the scheduling dance. Timing here is wild. On the physical side, Fantasy Flight just announced Thunder's Edge, a major expansion for Twilight Imperium 4th edition, with a retail release slated for October 24th, 2025. To be clear, today's digital announcement does not say anything about Thunder's Edge content being in the game. Right now, the Steam page frames it as core 4th edition with those 17 factions. Consider Thunder's Edge a separate board game release we'll be watching, while we wait to hear how or if expansions will be handled digitally. Mini teaser. After the recap, I'll hit the 3 biggest unanswered questions the devs need to nail for this to stick the landing. The announcement footage showcases a fully 3D board with faction-specific flair and dramatic cut-ins for battles. Visually, it's aiming above a straight tabletop sim. That's a smart call. If you are asking players to spend hours in a digital space, it has to feel alive, not like a static table cam. The art direction looks clean, readable, and most importantly, practical for long sessions. We also see UI elements that appear to serve as rules and options in line. If they keep information density high without overwhelming newcomers, that will separate this from digital ports that look great but still force you to memorize edge cases from a PDF. The promise of tutorials and tooltips is exactly the right answer there. Quick recap. Twilight Imperium Digital is officially announced for PC on Steam, release date to be announced. It's developed by Red Square Games under license, and it aims to recreate Twilight Imperium 4 with 17 factions, full phase structure, solo and multiplayer, matchmaking, hot seat, and asynchronous play. Tutorialized onboarding, automated rules, and 3D battles should chop down overhead and speed up play without losing the heart of the experience. Separate from this, the Thunder's Edge physical expansion is coming October 24th, and there's no confirmed tie-in for the digital version yet. If this kind of deep dive news helps you decide what to play next, consider subscribing so you don't miss the follow-ups we're lining up on this one. First, expansions and codex content. The Steam page doesn't name Prophecy of Kings or Thunder's Edge. That doesn't mean never, it just means not confirmed. Given how much the community expects mechs, leaders and extra factions, clarity on the roadmap will make or break long-term adoption. Second, cross-platform specifics. The features list includes cross-platform multiplayer. Cross-platform with what isn't stated. That could mean between different PC storefronts, or it could hint at future platforms, until the team spells it out, treat it as a nice to have with an asterisk. Third, match length in practice. Automation helps, but design decisions around action timing, diplomacy windows, and UI speed determine whether a game takes 2 hours or 10. The trailer looks slick. The proof will be in real lobbies with human players pushing plastic equivalents around a virtual table. For veterans, the hook is more games with the same crew, less calendar pain. I expect we'll see ongoing league play with scheduled windows and asynchronous deadlines. For newcomers, the barrier to entry drops. The guided tutorials plus AI scrimmages lets you learn without a social tax, then graduate into live diplomacy when you're ready. There's also a cultural ripple. The physical game remains the ritual for many of us. The digital edition becomes your practice ground, your rules arbiter, and the place you experiment with factions you never draft on game night. That interplay can keep both versions healthier. In the near term, watch for clarified platform details. A feature roadmap that addresses expansions and any word on betas or playtests. Steam wish lists aren't just vanity here. They help the devs gauge interest and can accelerate testing plans, so click that if you're curious. Also keep an eye on how they message asynchronous tools. If they deliver strong notifications and solid reconnection, it could define how this community plays online for years. Mini teaser. When we get hands-on, we'll test whether automated politics keeps the table talk spicy or accidentally sanitizes the best part of Twilight Imperium. My read so far is simple. If the team truly implements the full Twilight Imperium 4 rules with clean onboarding, stable online, and asynchronous support, Twilight Imperium Digital could turn the most legendary once-a-year event into a regular thing with your group. The board game ritual stays sacred. The digital edition becomes the way you actually get better, try wild strategies, and finish full games without living in a time warp. We'll keep tracking updates and break down new info the moment it drops. Drop your take in the comments and tell us what to test first when we get access.